Hey, ladies, studs, dominance, femmes. This is Toy with Love Between Two Women, and today's topic, or excuse me, the final topic I'm going to talk about, or one of the topics, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about is physical and mental abuse and control in the lesbian community. Now, none of those things should happen. However, they do. It's very commonplace. Now, I myself, have I been at the hands of physical, mental abuse and control? Yes, I have. Have I been the hands of physical, mental abuse and control? Yes, I have. One thing about me is truth prevails over everything. You can lie if you want to, but eventually the truth will just come out. And it took some healing time, and it took some learning time also for me to get through all of those parts of my life, through being the abused, through being the abuser, and now being a teacher about it. So let's talk about why it begins to happen. Sometimes it begins to happen, oftentimes it begins to happen in our upbringing. We watch our parents try to resolve issues of difficulty, and their way of resolving it is by yelling and screaming, and then eventually the emotions and the adrenaline and testosterone, it builds and builds and builds until it goes into a physical violence. And from that physical violence, it just kind of continues to escalate. Or some people are violent in a way of mental. So basically what they do is they use negative connotations, negative words towards you, and they repeat them over and over and over again. So yes, that probably happened to your mom or your grandmother or whoever raised you, and they, you would still hear them say about themselves, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, all of these negative things. And as you keep hearing those things, then you become those things. You become that way as well, because what you hear and what you speak is what you become. So, eventually, over time, as you grow into adulthood, you start doing those behaviors. You start saying those things, and you start living your life the same way. Why? Because you have not learned to live any other way. You have not been taught to live any other way. So you begin to take those behaviors, the physical, the mental violence, and the control into your own relationships. And oftentimes you seek out people similar to yourself, people that are into physical, mental, and control. Or somebody that's weaker than you. Does that make it right? No, it sure doesn't, because eventually you will meet your match. And they probably be a bigger match than what you ever could imagine, or either you'll find a way to get it together. So we talked a little bit about how it begins. Sometimes it begins in the family. Sometimes it begins by what you see around you in your place where you've grown up. Can it be changed? Yes, it can. You become what you think about. You become what you say. And physical violence can be changed to non-physical or to non-violence. Mental abuse can be changed by changing your words, changing what you say to yourself and to other people. If you had been saying that, to your partner, that you're nothing, you're never going to be nothing, start telling them they're going to be everything that they ever desired to be. But first, start speaking over your own life. Start talking about what you will be in a positive manner. And then it'll become easier for you to speak into somebody else's life, such as your partner or your relationship person that you're with. Now, you may say, Toy, well, how do I get to that place? How do I get to that point of speaking good instead of bad? One good way to do that is to get a dictionary and find all the positive words you can. Start creating sentences, writing in a little journal good things about you. Look in the mirror and speak good things to you. As you get comfortable looking at you and speaking to you, you will get very comfortable with speaking to other people, especially those that are closest to you, such as your children, your mate, your partner, whatever. How do you get past physical violence? Keep your hands to yourself. That's how you get past physical violence. And the main thing is you gotta check your temper. Check what's going on inside you. What makes you, what creates that emotion that's linked to that word called anger? How does that begin in you? You know, is it because it's some truth that you don't want to face? And most times that's what it is. Oftentimes people get angry because they hear something truthful that they don't want to hear. And so, and rather than them to deal with that truth, they turn it into anger, and they start dwelling on something else, whether it be something of the past or they'll find some other reason to let their emotions boil into the point of anger, so that then they'll start swinging their hands. Well, sister girl, let me tell you something. It's not cool, it's not cute, it's not pretty to swing on anybody. I don't care what age you are. And if you're a woman anywhere between the ages of, let's say, 12 and 200, it's really not cute to be hitting anybody. Okay, so now we talk about control. How does control begin? Control can sneak in there so easily. You start talking to people, a person, let's give an example of a person, and they are not doing what you want them to do. So you start bargaining in a way, which is a way of controlling. Okay, well, if you do this, I'll do this. If you do this, I'll give you this. That's where control begins, negotiation. Well, you become so acclimated to it and you start liking it so much that it becomes a normal part of life to you. It's just like a liar. Somebody that lies constantly, they tell lies just to tell lies, and then they tell lies because they believe the lies. Same thing with a controller. Once they have learned control and got real comfortable with it and get in their way all the time, guess what they do? They go throughout their life controlling other people. Mainly who? Their partners. Until what? Their partner wake up and decide they don't want to be controlled no more. And guess what? Then the relationship starts going bad. Why? Because the person that's the controller can no